Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, what we're going to do is continue on with sort of the next progressive stage of our animation, and we're going to actually start looking at how we animate to some audio. So I'm going to come back down to my timeline. I'm going to right click on it and go back to sound, and I'm going to switch my audio back on just here. Okay, and that's going to bring my waveform back. So generally speaking, the process that I use for animating my characters is I'll go through and do the lip sync first. Okay, so just the actual mouth expressions, okay, the mouth shapes. Then what I'll do is go back through the timeline and I'll animate the eye movement. So things like blinking and things like that. Then I'll go through and add in things like the eyebrow movement and so on. Once all that's done, I'll animate head movement. So we're doing this in passes, okay? We sort of build the detail in the animation up as as we go over and over the sequence, okay? I'm not going to try and position the head and then position all the mouth and get all the expressions in and then, you know, do that per frame. I'm just going to do all the mouth movement, then all the eye movement, all the head movement and so on. Sometimes if you're going to get the character to look around a bit, I'll actually leave the eye movement till last. So that way I can actually get him, I'll do his head movement and then I'll get his eyes to look exactly where I need him to look. You know, you can kind of go back and forth and kind of tweak if you need to. All right, so let's get this audio animation on the run. So first of all, what we need to do is actually play through our audio so that we understand what's being said. Okay, so for me, it's pretty simple. Hi there. It's basically just saying hi there. For me, it's pretty easy. I've got hi, which is going from about frame 13 to 19. And then the word there is roughly from 20 to 27. Okay, so once we kind of work out what the words are, then what we want to do is actually work out the sounds in those words. Okay, and it's not necessarily syllables. Okay, it's not quite the same as syllables. We also don't necessarily need to animate every sound that we hear in a word. Oftentimes, if the words are being spoken very quickly, you'll find one word blurs into the next word. So oftentimes the last shape in a word doesn't actually get animated. It actually gets replaced with the movement of the mouth shape changing from sort of the middle of this word through to the start of the next one, because the mouth is moving so quickly. So don't try and get every sound animated. It doesn't necessarily work. It's usually the more prominent sounds, where the emphasis of a word is, and usually the beginnings. Those are the shapes that we tend to need. So my first one is a h sound, like a hi. So it's like an H sound. So what I'm going to do is start off just prior to my audio. Okay, so I'm going about a frame before the actual word starts or the sound starts. And what I need to do is bear with me for a tick. I'm just going to reload my my file here. I just realized that I've left it on my previous file, so I'm just going to grab that one. So, you know, this allows me to pretty much jump back into where I was. So as I was saying, I'm going to jump back into my timeline, look for the frame roughly before my audio, or perhaps, yeah, I'd say just before the audio starts. And what I need to do is find the mouth shape for the sound that I'm hearing. So for me, it's a H sound. And in typical fashion, that's one of the sounds that I don't actually have a shape for. But what I can do is kind of blend maybe a couple of these together to get the shape that I need. And this is one of the challenges for this project, is to actually work out some of the shapes that we don't have. So I know that a h sound, if you look in a mirror or something and you kind of say the word hi or hello, what you'll see is the mouth opens a bit, So it's going to be sort of a bit like this. In fact, it's probably going to be quite like that. Okay. It may also have a bit of a V sound to it, perhaps. Maybe not. We could probably get away with just using this one here for a H sound. Now I don't want to go like full blown, because the next sound in there, which is an I for high, it's going to be sort of her and then I, like that. So what I want to do is actually only keyframe this up a little way to get the H sound, and then I'm going to crank it right up for the I sound. So let's start off by creating a keyframe for it just before the sound starts. Then I'm going to keyframe it just there again, and that's sort of for the H sound. So I'm going to key that. All right. Then if I go to this frame here and crank it up a bit more, like this, key that, across to here, key that, and then down to here and drop it all the way back down. Something like that. Key that. So what I should get now is something that looks a bit like a high.
Hi there, hi there, hi there, hi there.
Okay, it's not too bad. Okay. So what I'm thinking here is the audio, oops, I think that the I shape needs to come in a bit heavier just here. You can see that that's already up to 1. Okay. I think what I might do is actually bring it up a lot higher on this frame 5. So what I'm going to do is bring that up like that and keyframe that there at full width. But then what I'm going to do is actually start dropping it down here so that it's back down to there, I think, on frame 8. So what that's going to do, it's going to go up pretty quickly, hold a little bit, and then it's going to drop. Now on this, because the next word is there, and actually the sound of it kind of blends together just here. So the character's mouth's probably not going to go fully closed here. It's actually going to blend sort of from this to the next word about here. So the next word is there, which starts with a th sound. So that's going to be a little bit like a V shape just here. So what I'm going to do is pop over to 9. I'm going to keyframe my V sound, my F/V sound. Okay. And I'm then going to move up. Now it's about here where I get that full shape. Okay, but it's not like a full V sound. It's not like this. It's probably going to be about halfway. And I'm also going to have to move the mouth a little bit as well, but I'm going to get the mouth shapes going first. So I'm going to key that. Okay, so we're now going from this high. Okay, like that. Now what I do need is the tongue a little bit. So I'm going to be animating on 9 and 11. So what I'm going to do is come across to 9 and I'm going to keyframe my jaw control. Now this is traditional keyframing that we've seen before. So I'm going to do that over here on the channel box just there. And we can kind of, you know, shift this around a bit. So what I'm going to do is keyframe. In this case, I just want the mouth to open straight down. So I'm just going to right click on the Y and hit key selected on 9. And then on frame 11, I'm going to open this up like that. And I'll key that again like that. Now also we'll need the tongue to pop out there. So I'm going to select 9 again. I'm going to grab the tongue and I'm going to keyframe that. Now this time I'm going to keyframe it on translate Z, like that. And then on 11, what I'm going to do is pull the tongue out a little bit. See if I can actually get it to show up a bit like that. And then I'll keyframe that on 9. So what I'm getting is that tongue showing a little bit. Okay. So at this point, on frame, I might go to 13, so there's a bit of a hold. What I'm going to do now is reset this back to its starting position. So zeros for those, and I'll keyframe that. So key selected. And what I'll do is key this back to 0 as well. Key that. And I also need to get the expressions to kind of look like an air sound, and that's probably going to be this AEU. So I don't need the FV anymore, so I'm going to turn that off and key that. And what I do need is this here to kind of crank up. So I'll key that there. Now what I might find, see how the mouth is staying open almost the whole time? Right, I forgot to actually add a start keyframe for AEU just here. So I'm going to dial that back down and key that on frame 11. So it's now going to do that. Alright, so down here on where the word ends, basically what we do is we just reduce all of these back down and make sure we keyframe them. Now that tongue's clicking around a little bit. We can kind of see it's kind of sitting in through the teeth. So I just need to make sure that the positioning of my tongue control is sort of such that it's not going to, you know, get in the way. So that tongue there is okay. I might just, I might actually keyframe the Y value as well. So you can see here I'm going back through it and retweaking things. So a start keyframe there for the tongue, for the vertical position, and then I can kind of bring it up a little bit so it's not poking through the teeth, and I'll keyframe the Y position there. And then as it gets back to there, what I can do is push that back down. So I'll set that to 0 and keyframe that as well. Key selected. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Just turn the tool off.
Hi there, hi there, hi there, hi there.
See? And that's the basic process. We just go all the way through and we just keyframe the shapes that we're seeing so they match up with the position of those waveforms on the timeline. Now back in here, there's where I've got this mouth closed completely on this frame 9 for the end of the first word. That tends to make it jump a little bit. So this word doesn't really blend in with the shapes that I've got into the next word. So what I'm going to do here is just dial one of these back up a little bit so the mouth doesn't completely close. So what I would do here is just have the AEU not quite as closed as it was. So I'll just increase that a little bit and key it. So that way, as you're saying hi, the mouth doesn't close completely and it goes into the next shape. Like that. Now I can also take a look at things like the V sound. Okay. That's dialing off over a couple of frames. And you can see like this one's dialing down and this one's dialing up. So you can see that one's up. Now they're both sort of in the middle and then they're at opposite ends. Okay.
Hi there. Hi there. Hi there. Hi there.
All right. So then we can go through and we can start doing things like the eyes. So, for example, I might start off with the eyes sort of looking down. So if I go back to the start of my timeline, I can grab my eye control, maybe position them down a bit like that, and then keyframe the eye translate for the y-axis. Okay. And then I can get him to look up a little bit just as he starts to speak. I probably should have a hold on that, so what I might do is re-keyframe that there. Okay. And then what I'll do is have him look up, so I'll set it back to 0 on frame 4, and I'll auto key that, or keyframe it I should say. So now it does that. Now one of the things you can do to stop the character from kind of just staring, you know, solidly, is if you turn on auto key just down here, okay, that's this button just here. Once you've keyframed a channel and this is switched on, anytime you go to a new frame and then make a movement on that channel, it'll automatically keyframe it for you instead of having a right click up here. So what I might do is just set a little bit of a keyframe wiggle there. And then just adjust his eyes a little bit here and there. Just a little bit of movement. Like that. We'll see what that does.
Hi there. Hi there. Hi there. Hi there. Hi.
Okay. Same thing for the eyebrows. So if we're using sort of the brows down and maybe the brows up, so what we can do is sort of listen to the syllables that he's saying. So a hi is sort of going up, like hi. So we can start off just before he starts to say the word hi. I'm going to take the eyebrows down value. I'm going to keyframe that just here. I'm going to go down, just down a little bit. So I'm going to increase the brows down a little bit like this on the sort of the H sound. And then what I'm going to do is keyframe the brows up value just there. Okay. And then a couple more frames up, I'm going to get rid of the brows down and keyframe that. It's auto keying as well. This auto keys because this is on. And then what I can do is also increase the brows up a little bit when he's saying hi. Okay. So if I go to 8 and just kind of tweak that up a little bit, not too much, I don't want it to move too much. What I'm doing is nudging it just enough for a keyframe to appear. And then what I can do is kind of push that all the way down. And what I might be able to do there is actually tweak the down again, the eyes down a little bit. Okay. So back here what I can do is push that in a bit. Like that. Maybe hold it for a couple of frames. Like that a little bit. And then relax it back to normal by the end of the word. Like that. So what we get now is
Hi there. Hi there. Hi there. Hi there. Hi there. Hi there. Hi there.
So you can now see his eyes are now, his eyes and his eyebrows are now starting to animate. Okay. Then what we do is go back in and we now start to animate the head a little bit. So if I grab my main head control, I can now move his head a little bit. So I'm going to start off by keyframing the rotations here. Just select them all, right click, key selected. And then what I can do is go through and actually work out the head position. So what I might do is kind of keep it sort of roughly where it is. It's rotation, don't forget. So what I'm going to do here is just nudge it back slightly just to get a bit of a keyframe going. And then as he says hi, I'm going to move his head back a little bit on that word, just a fraction. I don't want it to go too much. Okay, and then what I'll do is sort of just before the next word, I'm going to back it forward a little bit again. So I could probably set that back to 0, like that. And then have it hold for a couple of frames, a frame or two. So I might just keyframe that there. And then rotate that back a little bit. Only a few frames, or sorry, a few degrees will be fine. You don't have to go too far. And then what we'll do is kind of have that drift back to its original position. So now his head moves like that. Okay. Now, because I've tilted his head back, his eyes are now not going to be looking where I want them to look. Because as his head moves backwards, okay, the eye control will lift as well. So what I want to do is now grab the eye control again. And just on the frames for the eye control, I just want to make sure that he's actually looking where I want him to look. Okay. So as that moves back, you can see it moves back and forward. I'm just going to grab this one and I'm going to put this down a little bit just here. And it'll add a frame in between. And then just here, his head kicks right back just here. Like that. I'm just going to make sure that the eyes are sort of dropped a little bit. Like that. And then they all sort of end up in the same position at the end. You can see here, this one, it's up a little bit. So I'm just going to reset that back to 0. Okay. So that's basically the sequence animated.
Hi there, 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 hi there.
Okay, so that's pretty much the process. So what you'll need to do is create your lip sync animation using the same process that I've just done for your entire piece of dialogue. So don't forget, make sure that your dialogue is reasonably short. If you do sort of around about maybe 1 sentence or 2 sentences at most, that should be fine. 2 words like I've done is a little bit short, so I'd say at least 1 sentence. Okay. Overall duration doesn't really matter. That's not important. It's more about getting the lip sync to work. Make it look as though your character is actually saying those words. I'm going to do a couple more videos in this series, just looking at the rendering process again and how to combine your audio with your video file once it's rendered. We need to do that separately in After Effects or Premiere. So we'll leave this one here, and I will see you later on for a rendering and compiling video.